Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane, and this is Gift of Healing TV. I am delighted this evening to welcome Leslie Rowans to the program, and she's going to be sharing using Yoga Nidra to reduce PTSD. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. I am so grateful to be here with you today. How are you?
I'm well, and I'm hoping if you are and everybody else who's watching, but that they will make the most of the share that you are bringing with us this evening.
Oh, yes, thank you. This topic is so important, particularly during this time in our lives, unprecedented times in our life. And so I'm so happy and thrilled to just be able to share with you and with your audience to really support those that have post-traumatic stress or have had any type of trauma. So I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
And the trauma side of things, I think, for me, it is very much about what is traumatic and who is to judge what is traumatic to another. And especially from my own perspective, thinking about childhood trauma is
Yes.
a single word can be traumatic to a child. So yes, it's a subject very close to my own heart as well. Just a very brief introduction to Leslie, because you'll find that the rest of her bio on the website, on the About Us page, giftofhealingtv.com, that is. Leslie Rowans is a holistic health practitioner who specializes in helping her clients to not only heal physical ailments of the body, but also supporting their mental and spiritual well-being while on their journey to change their lives. So, and I'm looking forward to this because Yoga Nidra is obviously slightly different to yoga, and all of these techniques, if they speak to you, then they can be of such great benefit to each and every one.
Yes, that is so true, Sarah. And you know what I'd like to do today, I have a great surprise, but I would like to share. I did a presentation and I'd like to share it with you because it really helps to those who are not familiar with Yoga Nidra and what it is and how it works. And the science behind it is just amazing. So I'd like to share that with you, the presentation that I have.
Excellent.
All right. And let me share my screen. All right, are you able to see that?
I can certainly see that, so hopefully everybody else can. And I'm sure those of you watching can enlarge it too.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, certainly, Yoga Nidra is one of the ancient remedies for modern times. And what I'd like to do today is really just share with you about Yoga Nidra and what are some of the benefits to our health. And so we're going to learn today what Yoga Nidra is in the practice. I love that photo that's there, Yoga Nidra, bliss for your brain. It really depicts what actually happens for you when you practice Yoga Nidra. And then I'll share a little bit about how Yoga Nidra works, and then what are the health benefits of practicing Yoga Nidra to reduce post-traumatic stress. And then we'll talk a little bit about intentions and affirmations as well too. So what is Yoga Nidra? It is a sleep-based meditation that uses a series of structured awareness techniques that really optimize physical restoration and it interrupts the process by which we engage in stressful thoughts. And then it focuses on relaxation. But it's important here for me to say this, that, Yoga Nidra is not the same as relaxation, but it offers you the benefits of relaxation and meditation. So that's really an important key. And then it uses the body, the breath, and awareness techniques that we'll talk a little bit about as well too, so that you have the experience of self-realization, by allowing you to experience the self beyond the mind. So that's really what Yoga Nidra is. And for viewers who may not be aware, yoga means union or to unite or oneness, and Nidra means sleep. So I know there may be some thought, well, am I actually going to sleep? I go to sleep every day, right? Every evening or throughout the day. It's a little bit different than that. So we call it yogic sleep, but there is some differences. But yoga really is essentially a spiritual discipline based on extremely subtle science, which focuses on bringing harmony between the mind and the body. It really is an art and a science of healthy living. And the practice of yoga often brings immediate physical benefits, such as reduced stress and better sleep. And it does have the potential to heal psychological wounds as well. And so as a meditation practice, it really causes a profound sense of joy, feeling wholeness, tranquility, and well-being. So that's what Yoga Nidra is. So what I'd like to do now is share with you 5 things that you should know to develop a Yoga Nidra practice. And the first one is that anyone can do Yoga Nidra. Even children can do Yoga Nidra. You can't practice Yoga Nidra incorrectly. You just can't get it wrong. It's very simple, and you can incorporate it into your daily life. For me, I actually try to do a Yoga Nidra every day for about 20 minutes. Sometimes I may miss a day, but normally I usually will do one at least once a day. And it's really a simple way to reduce stress in your life. But more importantly, Yoga Nidra allows you the opportunity to learn more about yourself intimately. So how does Yoga Nidra work? And I like this information particularly because it really breaks it down into its very simplest form. And that is that Yoga Nidra is designed to disconnect from your thinking mind, your thoughts, things that you think about all day, every day, and really to reconnect to the feeling in your body. Okay, that feeling versus thinking, which then allows you to be more aware of just being in a state of being, which can influence and shift how you have a relationship with yourself. So that's really how it works. But the really cool thing about Yoga Nidra is that when you practice, 35 minutes of Yoga Nidra is equal to 4 hours of deep sleep. Now that's really something, especially for individuals who may find it hard to sleep more than 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours. But 35 minutes is all that is really needed to really restore yourself using the Yoga Nidra. So how does this all work with the thinking, the mind? And I wanted to share this kind of like a little biology lesson, if you will, or to remind people. So I put these images up to help kind of walk you through what is actually happening when we're actually in a Yoga Nidra session. And so the power of the mind. So we're going to talk about actually the brain, and this is the structure of the brain. And as you can see here in the front part, let's see if I can get my mouse over here. We're really looking at the frontal cortex of the brain. This is the forehead part. And this is really where it all truly begins. So, you know, the brain is the most complex part of our human body. It weighs about 3 pounds, and it's really the seat of our intelligence. It interprets our senses, it's an initiator of our body movements, and it also controls our behavior. It is the command center of our nervous system. And it receives signals from the body's sensory organs and outputs information to the muscles. So the frontal lobe here is responsible for problem solving and judgment and our motor function. It's the logic, the reasoning center of our brain. It's really our higher mental function. So I like to have on the other side of this the depiction here on the right. So you can see here our higher mental function. It's right here at the frontal lobe. And then as we move on over up higher, we have the parietal lobe, which really manages our sensations, our things like handwriting, our body position. And as you can see over here, we have voluntary muscles, sensation, and so forth. Okay, and then the temporal lobe, again, is really more involved with our memory here in this section here. And it's all about our emotions. Emotions, our equilibrium. And it is really what we call the center area of our brain. And then we have the occipital lobe, which contains really our brain's visual processing system, if you will. And it's our seeing, our sight area. So, and then as you can see here, we have the left and the right hemisphere of the brain where, you know, the left brain function is where our analytical thoughts, our logic, our language, our high math function skills happen. You know, the left brain, if many of you didn't know, controls the right hand, your right hand. Then the right brain function is our creativity, that artisticness, our art or music ability, our insight into things, using our intuition, our feelings, our emotions, and the right brain controls the left hand control. So I want to draw your attention, though, however, to the center part here. And this is where the hypothalamus, the thalamus, our pituitary gland, and the hippocampus and the amygdala are located. And I really want to pay particular attention here because this is where Yoga Nidra is most beneficial. And this is actually called the limbic brain. And how it impacts, I'm going to show you another image here, more just easier to view, if you will. So again, we were here at the neural cortex. This is our rational and thinking brain. And then we have our limbic brain, which is all about the emotions and feelings. And then, of course, here at the stem, we often call that the reptilian brain or instinctual, but actually what it is our survival. This is our part that tells us that we are safe, okay, that instinct part. So I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know we have to move on, but really this is really important because the hypothalamus actually works with our sleep cycles and help bringing balance to the body. The thalamus is all about sensory information and where our neurons send information out to the rest of the body, to the cortex of the brain. The amygdala is really important here because this is where the brain drives the fight or flight. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move on. But here in the amygdala is where the fight and flight response comes into. And so we associate with our body's fears and stress responses here. Also, the hippocampus is in this region as well too, and it controls our moods. So I just wanted to take a moment here just to share this with you because this is really going to be important in understanding more about how Yoga Nidra actually works. Another thing that happens during Yoga Nidra is working with our brain wave patterns. And our brain function and why it's so important. So our brains use or emit electrical impulses. And these impulses then send signals to our muscles and to other organs in our body. And our electrical impulses are measured in what's called hertz. So as you can see here on the depiction here, we go from gamma, which is really our expanded consciousness, our insight, and we're said to be in gamma brain waves, usually right in the morning when we're first waking up, when we're active, and when we're aware. And then as the day progresses, we move into beta. And this is really our normal waking state, our just everyday normal doing that occurs. Later in the day, when we're kind of winding down, where our brainwave patterns are said to be in alpha, where we're more relaxed, more reflective, if you will, about what went on with our day. And then if you notice down in theta, where you see our brainwave patterns are kind of spread out a little bit more. And this is where we are in when we're just about ready to fall asleep or in our dream state, if we're dreaming as well. And we're naturally in theta twice a day. It's right in the morning before we actually wake up. And it's right before we drift off to sleep. So we're naturally in a theta state, a brainwave state every day. And then lastly, there's delta. And this is where Yoga Nidra is really key in helping us get down into those delta brainwave states and where true deep healing can actually occur. So some of the benefits of actually being in theta or even delta, but mostly theta, is our mind and our body can heal. It boosts our immune system when we're in theta. Deep levels of relaxation, stress, anxiety can be reduced. Our intuition is actually increased. There's a subconscious connection as well too. And then there's just heightened levels of creativity that occur when our brains are in theta. So I just want to show you that important piece. Now here is really actually seeing Yoga Nidra in motion. So what you're seeing here are 4 images that were done during a PET scan. So patient went in, had a PET scan, and they placed earphones in his ear, and he was listening as he was going through the PET scan and having the exam done. He was listening to a Yoga Nidra meditation. And so the images that you see here are the active areas of the brain that were illuminated while he was actually going through the scan and actually hooked up to an EEG device, which detected the meditative state of his brain while he was being scanned. So if you notice here, so now the brain is flipped the opposite way. So I'm going to just share with you. So here we're looking at that prefrontal cortex, that forehead area, where you can see that lighted imagery that's lit up here. And this is really before he starts the scan, going into the scan. So he's at rest. He's at a resting state. This is also where he comes back to after the Yoga Nidra, after the exam is done with the PET scan. And then if you notice here over in meditation, this is actually during the meditation, you see how the active areas now shift, right, to the parietal area of the brain as well too. And this is really showing where the person that's doing the exam is seeing, visualizing, and experiencing and feeling, and less actual thinking going on, okay? And then in the third picture here, you can see really what's highlighted and what's illuminated is all about visual imaging and seeing. So this is where he's the deepest relaxed as well too, and also here. So now we're here in that center part that we mentioned before, where the amygdala and the hippocampus are. So it's all about emotions, mood, feelings, and so forth. The actual speech centers are active as well here. So the interesting thing about this particular scan that was done is that the results show that 65% of his dopamine levels increased. So that means that while he was going through the meditation, his dopamine, which is a stress hormone, was actually increased because he was listening to the meditation. So this is going to be really important as we move through this and understanding more about Yoga Nidra. So I thought it was important to mention about the autonomic nervous system. We mentioned earlier about the fight or flight, and you may have heard that terminology before. Essentially, though, what it is that our autonomic nervous system, which really is the control, the mechanism that controls our fight or flight responses, is two parts. The sympathetic system, and as you can see here, I've listed over here on the right-hand side, it's where our bodies, when we're in that fight or flight, our pupils are dilated, our airways may be relaxed, or our heartbeat increases, and it really is that response so that we get up and move, or we get away from something that may be endangering us, okay? So releasing glucose, releasing adrenaline, all of these things are happening when we're in that fight or flight. Over on the left-hand side is the parasympathetic system. And this is truly when our bodies are at rest and digest. That's a nice term to put, where our pupils are constrict, we stimulate our salivation, maybe our heart rate will slow down, it inhibits glucose, and so forth. So our bodies are actually returning to a normal state when we're in parasympathetic, okay? The interesting thing, though, about fight or flight, if you could imagine just for a moment a gazelle, and when they're being chased by a tiger or some other type of predator, they're in that fight or flight response. Or if they were threatened in some way in a situation, they might be in a fight response as well. And when there is no threat anymore that's present, the animal then starts to shake all over, right? And that's our autonomic nervous system at play, which helps us to calm the body down in a restful state, returning us back to a normal bodily function. And it is said, though, that our society are sympathetic dominant, meaning we're over here on this side and we don't even know it. So things like chronic stress, hypervigilance, poor sleeping patterns, all of that is centered around that fight or flight and our bodies being there. So Yoga Nidra works to take us out of the fight or flight response patterns and get us over here to the rest and digest. And the more we practice Yoga Nidra, the more our bodies are able to restore to a healthy state where healing can actually occur. And our overall mental state improves as well too. Less depression, and anxiety, better sleeping, as I mentioned before, where our cells can regenerate and our neural network pathways in our brain can actually start to fire properly. Better cognitive ability, better memory, more improved memory, and less reactive behaviors. So here, I just want to talk a little bit. I mentioned about dopamine earlier in the Yoga Nidra in motion. So now I'd like to shift a little bit into what are the physiological benefits of Yoga Nidra. And here is where we see the results of Yoga Nidra working with the stress hormones in the body. So when we're doing Yoga Nidra, most, if not all, of these stress hormones have been activated when we're in that fight or flight, okay? And so GABA, the first one you see here, that's actually like Valium. It actually helps decrease anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress. Even studies are being shown where it's helping to prevent breast cancer. So melatonin is another one. It supports restful sleep, our biological biorhythms, and it slows the aging process. Serotonin is all about memory and mood, and it decreases depression, and it tells you when you've had enough, the body's response, you've had enough stimulus. So serotonin can stimulate the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, helping us to restore memory and mood. And release during Yoga Nidra, it actually helps us to decrease the size of the hippocampus. So there was a study that was done around 8 weeks of Yoga Nidra for a group of individuals, and they actually were able to measure the size of the hippocampus in relation to the Yoga Nidra practice. And so oxytocin, I want to mention that one. That's a hormone about pleasure, that offers pleasure, creating a feeling of calm, contentment, security when we're fearful or we're having anxiety, and actually helps to reduce pain in the body as well. Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter, and your body makes it, and our nervous system uses it to send messages between the nerve cells. So that's why it's important to, that sometimes we call this a chemical messenger. And dopamine really plays a role in how we feel pleasure. It's a big part of our just unique human ability to think and to plan. And then lastly, DHEA is really about boosting hormone levels that's associated with aging or risk of heart attack, diabetes, cancer, osteoporosis, chronic fatigue. So all of this for Yoga Nidra is helping to increase these stress hormones. So also, one of the stress hormones, cortisol, that is produced in the body is really, cortisol is our built-in alarm system, if you will. It's your body's main stress hormone. And it really works in certain parts of your brain to control your mood, motivation, or fear. And this hormone is actually produced in the adrenal glands, which are just the glands that sit right on top of the kidneys. And this is where cortisol is actually made. It's actually known for helping to fuel that fight or flight when you need it in a crisis. But the important thing about cortisol is that too much of it in the body leads to disease in the body. So cortisol actually helps to manage how your body uses carbohydrates or fats and proteins. It's responsible for keeping inflammation down in the body, and it also regulates your blood pressure, increases your blood glucose sugar, and really controls your sleep and wake cycles. It actually can help boost energy so that you can handle stress better, and it restores balance afterwards. So again, having too much cortisol in the blood is not good at all. And so as you can see over here on the right, you can have an increased risk of heart disease, a weakened immune system when there's too much cortisol, increased anxiety, depression, headaches, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, digestive issues can also be a reason for too much cortisol in the body. So when we're talking about reducing the fight or flight hormones, this is where Yoga Nidra has been beneficial with helping to bring down the cortisol levels in the body. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about Yoga Nidra and post-traumatic stress. I know that was a lot of information, but this really helps to give you kind of the foundation background around how Yoga Nidra benefits us health-wise. So the prevalence, and this was so important, I think, for this topic today, is really looking at the prevalence of post-traumatic stress in society. And interestingly enough, I found that 70% of adults experience at least one traumatic event in their lifetime. That's a pretty high percentage. And also that 1 in 13 people will develop post-traumatic stress at some point in their life. And that 20% of people who experience a traumatic event will develop post-traumatic stress. And then the thing that I found really interesting when I was doing some of the research around post-traumatic stress is that the prevalence of it in just the United States is equal to the total population of the state of Texas. Now, Texas is a really big state, but as of 2019, the state population was 29 million. 29 million. That's a lot of people who are going through post-traumatic stress in their life. So some of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress could include flashbacks or nightmares, avoidance or activity of people and events that have happened to you, difficulty concentrating, this hypervigilance or heightened arousal around feeling unsafe or being startled, irritability, sleep disturbances, and in some cases, self-medication with drugs and alcohol. Some other things that I wanted to share with you around diseases of the brain, and I know we don't have a lot of time to talk about this on today, but I wanted to show you one of the images of what a normal brain scan image looks like and what one looks like when you've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. And as you can see here on the images, there's a lot of gray material, white material of the brain. And here on the left, right-hand side, I'm sorry, the one with post-traumatic stress, there's less gray matter of the brain. And particularly here, you can see the lack of gray matter of the brain as well, too. Over here on the right, this actually shows the positive changes that occur after a Yoga Nidra practice, where we're seeing more in our field of view of being positive in terms of helping the neural networks of the brain. And, you know, I'd like to just kind of mention here as well, Alzheimer's and dementia, as well as post-traumatic stress, also are able to benefit from Yoga Nidra as well, too. And so when we're talking about this relaxing and restorative practice, and some of the studies that have been shown that Yoga Nidra can help with easing insomnia, you know, decreasing anxiety and reduced rage and emotional reactivity, mood improvement overall. I have so many individuals that have just noted to me that their mood has improved, that they feel more positive, more energetic just a heightened awareness and being able to focus has improved as well too. Transforming negative habits or behaviors or ways of thinking, and just fostering really a feeling of peace, calm, and clarity. So in a session, and I'll go through this very quickly, these are what's actually occurring. We're setting, really starting an intention, a resolve to kind of relax, but to remain awake and aware. I usually often say the hardest thing about the Yoga Nidra is to stay awake. It's okay. A lot of people do fall asleep when they go through Yoga Nidra the first time or so, but that's really because the body is so tired and needs to rest that it's okay. But often I hear that people say, did I stay awake or am I asleep? It really doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you are relaxed. And then it really, the next phase of the Yoga Nidra helps us to go within that inner sanctuary to really connect. We do a body scan where different techniques are used and breath awareness is used as well. Really kind of bringing in that feeling and balancing of opposites as well too. You have more awareness of self, of who you are. I am more than. And then we also include intention. We'll talk a little bit about intention, but we might intend that I am safe and I am secure. I accept myself. I'm grateful. And that's really what we're talking about in terms of building an intention for yourself that you'd like to use as well too. And then lastly, this is really the position of a Yoga Nidra pose. It's simply to lie down. You can lie down on the floor, you can lie down on your couch or your bed, or you can even sit up in a chair. But this is truly the traditional position. Whatever makes you comfortable. You see she has blankets. Sometimes people use eye pillows. Whatever will make you the most comfortable is the position that you would be in for a Yoga Nidra session. And so that's really the end of the presentation that I have today. We'll just take this off of here.
Yay, we have you back. Thank you. And don't go away, folks, because there's more.
Yeah, so what I thought I would do today as a gift to everyone here, and thank you all so much for joining us today, is to actually give a Yoga Nidra. And this is timeless, so you can come back as often as you want to listen to the Nidra. But I'd like to share with you a Yoga Nidra so you can actually experience it. So what I would ask, and Sara, you of course can do this as well too if you want to sit up or lie down, is to prepare yourselves. Take a few minutes. You can probably pause the video and just prepare wherever it is you want to be most comfortable, whether that be lying down on the floor or on your bed or on a couch, whatever makes you the most comfortable. I want to just also mention that when you're preparing yourself, make sure that your cell phones are on mute or turned off. And make sure that you use the restroom before you start. And really get yourself in a place where things are quiet. I know sometimes that can be a challenge, especially if we have kids and other people that live with us. But do it at a time when you know that it can be kind of quiet around you, okay? And then once you've done that, I want to go over, before we actually start the Nidra, a technique that we're going to be using at the very beginning, but I want to practice it with you now so that when we get to it, you'll know what it is that we're doing. And this is actually called, the technique we will be using is called the bumblebee breath and sound. And all that you need to do at the time when I guide you is to take your hands, take your thumbs, and close your ear flaps just enough so you can still hear me, and rest your hands on top of your head. Good. And then I'd like for you to use your tongue at the roof of your mouth, just at the back of your teeth. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and we're going to hum. Follow me. Inhale. Again. Now stop and let your hands rest by your side. Good. Okay. So also before we get started, we're going to set an intention. And the intention that I'm going to read to you will also be read again or given to you throughout the meditation. Okay. So the intention that we're going to use for this Yoga Nidra is, I can experience feeling safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. Okay. Now, if you can, get into position, whatever you're going to be comfortable. And just close your eyes and allow your attention to move inward. Feel your whole being beginning to soften and relax. Breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. And again, inhale, exhale, and let go even more. Feel a sense of comfort, safety, and peace begin to wash over you. Bring your body into your awareness, resting on the earth, feeling the support of the cushions or pillow underneath you. Notice where your body touches the floor or the bed, the chair, allowing for the whole of the body to be held in this horizontal place. You can let the weight of your body be held. Feel how it is to let every bone, joint, and organ settle right now. There's nothing you need to do right now. Just to be is enough. Just to be here is enough. No one to please, nothing to achieve, no deadlines to meet, no one you have to be. Notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. Notice all the places your body is resting now. All of this is welcome. As you hear the following statement, just allow your awareness to receive it fully. I can experience feeling safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. I will guide you into deeper and subtler levels of relaxation through the bumblebee sound and breath. Use your thumbs to gently close your ear flaps, just tight enough so you can still hear me. Rest the remaining fingers on either side of your forehead and let your tongue rest at the back of the upper teeth. Now take a deep breath in and follow me. Now stop. Bring your arms by your side and be still. Feel the stimulating impact of vibrations extending throughout your whole body. Observe your energy filling every nerve and cell of your body. Now bring your attention to the eyebrow center and empty your mind into the flood of energy. We will move our awareness into the body to release trapped energy, tension, and move deeper into total relaxation. If you cannot have undue pressure in your head for any reason, it is important that you breathe normally as you tense your body. Tighten and tense the entire body as you inhale. Arms, hands, shoulders, feet, legs, face. Hold the breath in. Tighten, tighten. Now let go completely. Relax. On your next exhalation, let go even more. Feel the effect. Now let's repeat this again. Inhale and tighten arms, hands, shoulders, feet, legs, face. Tighten, tighten even more. Hold the breath. Hold, hold, and let go. On your next exhalation, let go even more. Observe and feel the flood of energy extending to all the muscles, nerves, and cells of your entire body. Release any struggle, any effort to make anything happen. Release any holding anywhere. Maintain this inner stillness and gently cover your arms with a blanket if you wish, or place your eye pillow over your eyes. As we enter this next phase of Yoga Nidra, remain as motionless as possible. If you need to move or make an adjustment, do so mindfully and return to stillness as soon as you are able. Resolve to remain awake, staying in touch with the sound of my voice. Allow your body to respond to my guidance directly and non-mentally. Affirm that any disturbances will only take you more deeply within. Allow all thought, all effort to dissolve into the vast spaciousness of being. Enter into a state of complete non-doing. Now follow my guidance as we begin the relaxation breath. Become aware of your inhalations and exhalations. Without any struggle or effort, just allow your inhalation to be a little more full and your exhalations a little more complete. Allow attention to rest on the experience of steady, unbroken breath. Now draw the breath into the lower belly and fill the lungs from bottom to top as if filling a water bottle. As you breathe out, empty your lungs from top to bottom. Inhale, bottom to top. Exhale, top to bottom. Stay present to the wave-like motion of your stomach and chest as you breathe in and out. I should be able to see your chest and belly rising and falling as you breathe. Allow a sense of peace and well-being to wash over you with each progressive inhalation and exhalation. Let this feeling expand to include every part of your body. Inhale as if your whole body is inhaling, and exhale as if your whole body is exhaling. Inhale and take in new energy. Exhale. Let go of all tensions, worries, and anxieties. Let go. Feel yourself empty, open. Now breathe normally and be still. Let all the tension simply melt, drain away, and dissolve into the expanding field of energy. The mind completely suspended in the dimension of silence. Drop into that silent space where all doing stops. Now imagine a place you would like to be, a place where you feel peaceful, calm, relaxed, or quiet, a place where there are no concerns about the future or past, simply an overwhelming experience of the rightness of things. It doesn't have to be a real place. It could be a place that you create for yourself right now. Perhaps sitting on a beach, watching the ocean, smelling the salt air, hearing the seagulls, or a mossy green forest with tall trees and the smell of wildflowers and birds singing. Or even sitting on top of a mountain, looking out over a valley that goes on forever. Trust whatever image arises in your awareness. Now imagine yourself in this place. Look around. As you breathe in, see or sense the whole picture, the feelings, sights, sounds, and smells of this place becoming more and more real to you now. Choose a comfortable spot on the earth to sit or lie down. Perhaps it is a soft bed of moss or a hollow and a white sand beach that holds your shape. Allow your body to relax as the earth supports you. No need to hold yourself up. Look around at the colors and shapes and imagery in your vision. Take them all in. Feeling through bodily sensations what it is to be in this safe place. Breathe in the air of this place. Inhale deeply and notice the scents. Listen to the sounds around you, both distant and close, prominent and subtle. Enjoy this beautiful place, surrounded, protected, in this place where you can deeply rest. Notice how your whole body responds. Feel how peaceful and calm you are. Feeling cleaner, more relaxed, more centered than ever before. Feeling full by the experience of being safe and nurtured by the environment around you. Now notice something about where you are to help you find calm in all situations. It may be the feel of the sun on your face, or the smell of the salt air, or a small object, such as a shell, or a round stone, or a flower petal. Notice whatever that is and bring it back with you. And remember, you can return to this safe place anytime you want. or need to. Now allow yourself to respond directly, non-mentally, as we move awareness through the different parts of the body. Allow your attention to move without effort or strain, feeling the flow and release of energy blockages move through you. Brow center. Pit of the throat. Right shoulder. Elbow. Wrist. Thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. And little finger. Wrist. Elbow. Shoulder. Pit of the throat. Left shoulder. Elbow. Wrist. Thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. And little finger. Wrist. Elbow. Shoulder. Pit of the throat. Middle of the chest. Right side of the chest. Middle of the chest. Left side of the chest. Middle of the chest. Pit of the stomach. Lower stomach. Middle of the pubic bone. Right hip. Knee. Ankle. Big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. Ankle. Knee. Hip. Middle of the pubic bone. Left hip. Knee. Ankle. Big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. Ankle. Knee. Hip. Middle of the pubic bone. Lower stomach. Pit of the stomach. Middle of the chest. Pit of the stomach. Now bring your attention to the eyebrow center and disappear into the vast, silent spaciousness. Thoughts and images rising and dissolving, forming and dissipating within that sky-like field of awareness. Released energies balancing, integrating, restoring. Give yourself the permission to enter into the deepest level of relaxation right now. Bring your focus and awareness back to the sound of my voice now. Here, your intention and your affirmation are actualized and fulfilled with effortless ease. Now allow yourself to receive these words into every fiber of your being, filling every cell of your body, receiving these words. I can experience feeling safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. I can feel safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. I can experience feeling safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. And at this time, feel the presence of any guides, mentors, teachers, or family members you feel connected to. You may sense this as a universal force or energy surrounding you, guiding you. Know that this presence surrounds you always. You can draw on this presence at any time. And if there's any guidance to be received at this time, either as a felt sense, words, or images, just allow yourself to receive it now. Otherwise, simply rest back in the grace and protection of their presence. Recognize at this time that you have made a major shift in perspective. This shift will enable you to interact with yourself and with the world in a new way. The more you connect with your new perspective, the more empowered you become to shape and create your own life. You are the creator of your experience of life. Slowly feel yourself beginning to rise to the surface of awareness. Notice the rising and falling of your breath. No control or effort on your part. Slowly begin to come back to awareness of your physical body. Feel the sensation of your body lying here. The quality of air as it touches your skin. And when you feel the impulse, begin to move and stretch your body as if awakening from a restful sleep. If the impulse is to remain still, do so. And when you are ready, gently roll onto your right side. If you're in a chair, bring yourself upright. Bring your attention into your awareness once again. I can experience feeling safe and secure in my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. Regardless of what you consciously recognize that has or has not changed, know that something deep within has shifted to connect you with your intention. If lying on the floor, slowly use the strength of your arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. Notice how your attention is automatically and effortlessly held in meditation. Rest in stillness. Slowly open your eyes when you are ready.
Thank you so much for that. I know something was going on because I end up with tears. So
good tears.
And when you said to take yourself off somewhere, yes, I do a typical me thing. I went up amongst the stars. So
yes, yes.
But then it was that rest, find somewhere comfortable to rest. And it was just like, okay. And I became aware of being cupped in hands.
Yes.
I usually find myself with dragons, so but they definitely weren't dragons' hands. So.
How are you feeling?
Okay, with me it's very difficult because yes, I ended up with the tears, but I have the itchy leg thing, and they were playing havoc.
The sensations.
And I was listening to something, I was participating in something last night as well, and they did exactly the same to me. And it's me thinking, okay, fine. It's that gets your mind out of the way because your mind's concentrating on that. So
Yes.
whatever the other thing that's going on can do exactly what it needs to with the mind out of the way.
Mind out of the way.
So that's the way I view it. But oh boy, I was trying to keep as still as possible, but my legs were going like crazy. It was just like, and there was nothing I could do about it. There really wasn't. I was trying to stretch them. I was doing, but I thought, okay, fine. And I was still doing the breathing and everything that you said, but I just thought, okay, fine. There's something going on that's taking my concentration so that the mind's occupied.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that's what it is, your body's sensations and your feeling, because oftentimes, especially with post-traumatic stress, we're not aware of those sensations. In some cases, we're numbing or feeling numb. Again, so this is a way to help you to turn off the mind and get into feeling in the body and having that awareness, and actually allowing the body to heal. We just remember all those stress hormones that we're working on. Yeah. I'm so grateful to you, Sarah Jane. I'm glad you enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, no, I did. And I accept it. And maybe in this respect, it's very much about saying to people, if you get something like I've just had, just work through it, because there are times when distractions, if you like, are necessary to get your mind out of the way of the rest of you. And you don't have to be necessarily aware of that initially. It's once it feels safe with it, then it can. Yeah, and I suppose because you mentioned sort of hypnotherapy before, and my reaction was, one, I can't be hypnotized, but of course, then some people feel very nervous of hypnotherapy anyway.
Yes,
and that control, that they have that fear. Once you've experienced something, and you get said, no, I know that's okay. I've listened to it now. I've experienced it. I know I can come back to this. I can do it again, and I can relax more the second time, even more the third, the fourth. It's that.
Yes.
It's that experience of, oh yes, I know I'm safe here.
Yes, absolutely, always. And I'm glad you brought that up about hypnotherapy, because I often get asked the question, is Yoga Nidra like hypnotherapy? And there are differences. And I would say with hypnotherapy, it involves switching off that left side of the brain that we talked about and more activating the right side of the brain where that takes over, right? And that left frontal inhibition and the activating of the right posterior, okay? And actually, relaxation doesn't have to take place with hypnotherapy. It could be, you could be very tense, you could be upset or unhappy. And hypnotherapy is really, the purpose is therapeutic and transformative as well. Yoga Nidra is the movement between the left and the right halves of the brain. So we're balancing, right? And that can be seen in the PET scan if you're doing a PET scan where there's a balance. And I would just say it cultivates awareness and really transcends those thoughts and cultivates witness. And the ultimate purpose is to realize the self beyond the mind and to help you drop into those theta and delta brainwaves where true healing can occur. So I'm glad you brought that up because I often get asked that. Yoga Nidra is a practice. Practice. So I'm glad you tried it and you experienced it.
And thank you so much. And folks, yeah, anybody's got a question now, please ask it. If you're watching the video, then obviously we're no longer live. If you're watching the video, and you have any questions for Leslie, please, her webs, or where have I put that information? I had it. Where's it gone? I'll put the website up here, and then I will make sure it's under the video as well. Let's do that, and hopefully that will go up. There's his website. Your Soul Healing Journey. .com. Contact Leslie either through her website, or you can contact me, giftofhealingtv@gmail.com, and I will forward any messages to Leslie. So whatever works best for you. If they're for Leslie, I will not be answering them. I will just be forwarding them because it's not for me to answer. Any final? Because obviously we've got a long program for you tonight. Anything? Oh, because yes, you do training sessions, don't you? You do workshops, etc.
Yes.
Go to the website for those.
Absolutely. We do individual Yoga Nidra sessions, group sessions. I'm offering some retreats here and there as well too. So definitely check it out on the website.
Yeah. So is there anything finally that you think you may have missed out that you'd like to to share?
Well, really just to thank you, Sarah Jane. I really appreciate this opportunity and to just allow people to, again, learn a lot about Yoga Nidra, how it helps support for those who are suffering with post-traumatic stress or have trauma and are really interested in learning about alternative ways to help with healing. I think that's the biggest key, and your program is just wonderful in doing that. And so I'm so grateful to you and to your audience.
Well, now I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Shaunati, this was really helpful. I appreciate the information and the Yoga Nidra session. So thank you, and I apologize about the pronunciation of name. I do. So
thank you.
Thank you, Leslie, for joining us, for sharing. Next week, I am being joined, but we've got more yoga for you next week, by Dr. Beniram Koshe of India. So it's going to be in the morning in the UK next week, 7:30 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Yoga for Peace and Harmony. So I hope you will join us for that. But Leslie, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a real pleasure. And no time to chat afterwards, because the minute I take us off recording, we'll be kicked out the room. So bye-bye. Thank you, folks. Take care. Stay well. Be safe. Namaste to you all. Thank you. Bye.